Dr. Sebastian Gorka is Deputy Assistant to the President and a member of an internal group called the Strategic Initiatives Group. He is also the author last year of Defeating Jihad, The Winnable War, published by Regnery. Dr. Gorka, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So you know H.R. McMaster?
I do. We spoke at the same event at VMI just last November, and I've already emailed him saying, imagine if we'd known back then the lofty heights you would be raising to. So.
What do you think his appointment to this post means for the Trump White House, for the National Security Council?
I'm over the moon. I've already told him we're so excited he's coming on board. The fact is, this is a man who is known for being the iconoclast general. I think that fits nicely with the iconoclast president, don't you?
Well, perhaps. Let's talk about some of the headlines making news here. There was over the weekend a story by the New York Times and another by the Washington Post alleging, in essence, that the title of the New York Times story, the headline, was a back-channel plan for Ukraine and Russia, courtesy of Trump associates. And it asserted that a personal lawyer for Mr. Trump, a longtime lawyer at the Trump Organization, a man named Michael Cohen, who you see at the left of your screen, a business associate of Mr. Trump's named Felix Sater, who's pictured in the middle there, had been responsible for Mr. Cohen allegedly delivering directly to the offices of then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who you see at screen right there, a sealed envelope that contained some kind of peace plan for Ukraine that would obviously need Russian sign-off and so forth. Mr. Cohen has said that, has, I think, backtracked on whether or not it was delivered. The White House is saying it was never logged in. What do you know about this plan?
I'm not familiar with the plan, and given the source of the report where it comes from, I have to have a little bit of skepticism involved, because I really do think there is a fake news phenomena. But I knew General Flynn. I worked with him for months in the transition team, and he said, look, we are open to outsiders. We are open to people who have good suggestions. We're not going to be this. Remember the echo chamber Ben Rhodes was so proud about when he was a Deputy Assistant National Security Advisor? So if there are people who come up with good suggestions to stop bloodshed. Remember, thousands have died in this awful situation that we have in Crimea. So I'm not familiar with the plan or if it was even delivered, but people who have good ideas will be listened to.
Does the Trump White House regard the annexation of Crimea by Russia as a done deal that won't be reversed?
I think if you look at the statements of our UN ambassador, if you look at the statements of the president, we have significant issues with how Russia is behaving. And remember, what is this factually? What occurred in Crimea is the breaking of a 70-year taboo. After World War II, we said this isn't going to happen again. We're not going to invade somebody else's country and annex that territory for ourselves. So that's what Russia did, and as a result, it remains a suppurating wound in Europe.
I want to play some sound that we got from Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, himself a leading voice on national security issues. He spoke at the Munich Security Conference on Friday about the dismissal of General Flynn from the National Security Council.
The Flynn issue obviously is something that shows that in many respects this administration is in disarray and they've got a lot of work to do.
Well, you work there. Is the administration in disarray?
Not at all. As I tell people, I come in every morning at 7 a.m., I open the newspapers, and I read these peculiar stories. 8 out of 10 of them are just have no resemblance to anything that's going in the White House. And it's very strange, James, when you read a story about an event where you were in the room the day before when the issue was discussed or decided upon, and the representation in the mainstream media bears absolutely no resemblance to the reality. So no, as the president said, a finely tuned machine.
In your book, Defeating Jihad, which you published last year, which was an excellent primer, having read it, I can tell you, on the history and evolution of jihad into its current form, you called for the creation of some sort of overarching document that all branches of the executive branch anyway, should be basing our approach to jihad on. And you likened it to NSC 68, which is a famous Cold War document that set forth the parameters for containment of the Soviet Union. In your new duties, are you at work work on the creation of such a document?
In the SIG, the Strategic Initiatives Group, we are mandated to maintain and manage the most important long-range initiatives that the President is interested in that involve outside partners. If you look at these various commissions or task forces or roundtables, whether it's Veterans Affairs, cybersecurity, the modernization of the information technology, that's our mandate. This idea that there's some shadow NSC couldn't be further from the truth. We are there to open the doors to people who want to work with the President, CEOs. You saw the miners come in last week to unburden, unshackle the mining industry in America. That's the kind of things the SIG deals with.
I need a yes or no because we're running short.
Oh, no. On jihad?
On this last issue, is automation and the future of the workforce in this country part of what SIG is studying?
SIG is looking at two areas that relate to that. One is the threat of cybersecurity. We're taking this very seriously with Mayor Giuliani. And the other one is the horrific state of information technology in government. So in general, yes, modernizing IT and making sure America is safe from cyber attack, private sector and government.
Seb Gorka, we hope you'll come back.
Anytime, I'd be glad to.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.